A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us again on Almond Finance and Wealth Reports this week. As you know, your source for latest happening information in the financial sector of the nation's economy. My name is Faith Wode. There's so much going on the continent of Africa today, from Al-Shabaab in the east to Boko Haram in the west, xenophobia in the south, to the outbreak of Ebola last year, HIV, droughts, floods, and the associated social drawbacks are some of the realities facing the continent of Africa today. On this edition of the program, we'll bring you highlights of the 42nd African Insurance Organization Conference and General Assembly AIO that took place recently at the Carthage Talasso Hotel and Resort in Tunis, Tunisia. The theme of the AIO conference this year was African Insurance Facing Mass Events. Since insurance is the only business that exists for the survival of all the businesses, many believe that the theme of the AIO conference could not have come at a better time than now that the continent of Africa is facing enormous challenges. As always, over 1,000 delegates from within and outside the continent of Africa converged on the Carthage Talasso Hotel for 3 days to deliberate the theme and sub-theme papers of the conference. But it wasn't just serious deliberations alone, from the belly dancers that kept some of the male delegates really excited to the James Brown or Barry White protege almost. It was 3 days of fun and excitement for delegates at the 42nd AIO Conference and General Assembly. I urge you as always to sit back, relax and spend this time with us because it will be worth your while. But details after the break. Please stay with us.
My name is F.K. Lawal. I'm the Managing Director of Sterling Assurance Nigeria Limited. I watch Almond Services. Their program is very good on insurance, providing insights about happenings in the insurance world. I enjoy you to watch Almond. Thank you.
The African Insurance Organization, AIO, is a non-governmental organization established in Mauritius in 1972 to promote inter-African cooperation and development of a healthy insurance and reinsurance industry in Africa. The membership of the organization is open to the insurance industry, regulatory supervisory authorities, insurance training centers, as well as national and regional associations. Presently, the AIO have 326 members, 315 of them from 45 African countries, and 11 associate members from 7 overseas countries. The annual AIO Conference and General Assembly provides a platform for stakeholders in the insurance industry on the continent to brainstorm on how insurance can contribute meaningfully to national growth and development. The 42nd edition was recently held at the Carthage Talasso Hotel and Resort in Tunis, Tunisia. The theme of the conference this year was African Insurance Facing Mass Events. The turnout at this year's conference was quite impressive as over 1,000 delegates from across the globe converged on the Carthage Talasso Hotel for 3 days to brainstorm the theme. In her welcome remarks, the chairman of the organizing committee, Madam Lamina Ben Mahmoud, stated that the choice of a theme was ordered by the major changes that the world undergoes today, with a disruption that weighs heavily on the risk exposure. Also welcoming delegates, the immediate past president of the AIO, Mr. Jean-Baptiste Ntukamazina, stated that enormous opportunity exists on the continent. As such, insurers must tap into these opportunities by increasing insurance penetration and improving on their product offerings and distribution channels.
We as insurers must take advantage of the opportunities and benefit from the prospective growth in various sectors. Because the predicted positive change of African economies will impact on health care services, housing and urban infrastructure, protection of assets and increased savings, among others. These are exactly the opportunities we have to tap in by proposing new products, increasing insurance penetration, improving distribution techniques, and cost cutting. And because our profession is risk-taking, we can boost, push, and support other businesses by mitigating their risks and hence ameliorate the lives of our population. Africa can show a better face to the world. Today, Africa is synonymous of turbulence and setbacks, civil wars, political violence, terrorist attacks, natural disasters, HIV disease, Ebola outbreak, and other natural catastrophes. And believe me, as you know, many of these disasters are the result of our errors, our mismanagement, our lack of leadership.
Declaring the conference open, Tunisia's Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Slim Chaka, urged the insurers on the continent to do more. With the opening formalities over, delegates settled down for serious deliberations on the theme and sub-theme papers of the conference. The first paper was Increasing Frequency of Political Violence in Africa. Implications on the insurance industry was presented by Mr. Mohammed Kotb of United Insurers Brokers of London. According to him, insurers covering terrorism in Africa must form strong market associations to avoid negotiating with reinsurers separately.
The importance of explaining to the clients what is actually covered and what is not, to the original insured. Make sure you clearly understand the inclusionary language as well as the exclusionary language. Only provide SRTC by endorsement and an additional premium. Diligence when characterizing the events and assessing how biased your source information is. When these events happen, a lot of the time we're very much dependent on the media, and as we know, all media is biased. And also we have to put the losses or the events in a geopolitical context. Because the positions that some countries, some foreign countries, or some governments might take might very much be influenced by their political position and their expectation of what's going to happen in the future between that country or in the region. But also very important, and I think this was demonstrated not only in Egypt but also in Tunisia, the importance of having a strong local body. When such events take place, you do not want to find yourself in a situation where every insurance company is negotiating separately with the reinsurers. The market needs to get unified and have one unified approach to the reinsurers. And I think Egypt, had that not happened through the federation, not all of the claims would have been payable. Okay, speaking of pools, I think it's worth spending some time, a slide or two, discussing the pools. A number of countries have taken the initiative, given the high exposure to terrorism, to establish local pools for the benefit of the foreign and local investors.
With the increasing occurrence of mass events on the continent, such as terrorism, natural catastrophes, infectious diseases, and political violence, the insurance industry, as risk bearers, are at the receiving end. The choice of the theme, therefore, could not have been more appropriate. The second session of the conference focused on the theme, The Threats of Natural Catastrophe, the Role of African Insurers and Reinsurers. Speaker was Mr. Heidi Mohamed Seba, Chief Executive Officer of CCR Algiers. Chairman of the session was Mr. Corneli Karakezi, Managing Director, Africa Re. The high point of the AIO conference this year was the Made in African Insurance Award and unveiling of the new corporate logo of Africa Re. The award program was developed to encourage excellent service in the insurance industry in Africa. Speaking briefly before the award, the Secretary General of AIO, Madam Priska Suarez, noted that the award will spur other players to excellence, thereby raising insurance penetration on the continent.
The awards program was developed to recognize achievers in the African insurance industry who have distinguished themselves with regard to insurance practice, customer relation, product development, service delivery, risk management, market and geographical expansion, and corporate governance. As we all know, insurance penetration is generally low in Africa. Hence, we believe that these awards will spur other players and practitioners to work towards achieving excellence, thereby raising awareness on insurance in Africa. Also, as the AIO Secretary General, I personally believe that sharing and dissemination of industry, new, successful, and practical ideas can be a strong tool to fast-track the development of insurance on the continent.
The categories are Insurance Company of the Year, which went to MISR of Egypt. Innovation Company of the Year went to Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC, while CEO of the Year went to Mr. Patrick Tumbo of Jubilee Insurance of Kenya. The winners went home with $25,000 each, courtesy of Africa Re. Day 2 of the conference focused on the sub-theme, New Infectious Threats to Mankind, Challenges for Insurance and Reinsurance. Speaker was Mr. John Baptist Kwame, General Director, Sika Re. His session was chaired by Mr. Junior John Ngulube, Chief Executive Officer, Munich Re, South Africa. Giving an overview of the sub-theme, Mr. Ngulube stated that for insurers and reinsurers to fight infectious diseases in Africa, the challenge for them is to turn knowledge into progress and risk into value.
Insurers and reinsurers included, is therefore to advance knowledge and the science of epidemiology, disease prevention and treatment. We know there are huge research bills that go with research into various treatments. There are, of course, issues of poverty and affordability, and this is particularly relevant on our continent in Africa. The treatment might ultimately be available, but not affordable. The insurance policies might be available, but not affordable. We also know that once we know about the risk or the disease, we are able to design these products, the insurance cover that I speak of. Our challenge and our role as insurers and reinsurers, in my view, is therefore to turn knowledge into progress and risk into value, to turn risk into value. And this you can apply also in the case of infectious diseases and how we respond to them. In my mind, I think the outbreak of HIV/AIDS was a very good example. And our response in my mind was very classical. Initially, we denied its existence. I remember as a young man, we had this acronym AIDS. We used to call it the American idea to discourage sex. That's what we reduced to in the absence of knowledge.
Last but not least of the sub-theme papers was the one that focused on African insurance and internet risks. Speakers were Mr. Jerome Noel, Customer Manager at Reputation Squad, and Mr. M. Usman Tall of Responsible Mediterranean, Africa and Middle East AXA Juridica. Their session was chaired by Ms. Lydia Lariba Bawa, Commissioner of Insurance, Ghana. In our opening remarks, Ms. Bauer said that the internet provides enormous opportunity to drive business, but that insurers must consider how to manage the flip side of the internet as risk bearers.
Businesses are today driven by the internet because it has become a tool for efficient and effective customer service delivery. The benefits of the internet are enormous, and we in the African insurance industry cannot afford to ignore this powerful tool. And I know, and you would agree with me, that our insurance companies, and for that matter, reinsurance companies, are at different levels of technological development, just as our individual nations are. But the levels of these are, as we said, we would need to double up or step up so that we are not left behind by other nations. The African insurance industry needs to continually evolve and develop workable technological solutions and applications that will meet our business needs. And even though I have said that the internet provides us with enormous benefits, like any other human endeavor or phenomenon, there is the other side, there is the negative side, and we need to deal with this. It presents us with the security risk, and we need to identify these risks and manage them as risk bearers.
Day 3 of the conference was the annual General Assembly of the AIO, where various committees made presentations to the General House. The committees were the Oil and Energy Pool, AIO Life Committee, Association of Supervisors, and the Insurance Brokers, IBA. The closing dinner witnessed the investiture of Mrs. Lamia Ben Mahmoud as the president of the AIO for the next 1 year.
The Chancellor, performing the swearing-in ceremony, administers the following oath of office. I, Lamia Ben Mahmoud, Managing Director of Tunis Re Tunis, Tunisia, do solemnly declare and swear by Almighty God.
Moi, Lamia Ben Mahmoud, président directeur général de Tunis Re, Tunis, Tunisie, déclare solennellement et jure devant Dieu Tout-Puissant.
So help me God.
Je le jure devant Dieu que cette déclaration est faite avec un grand sens de responsabilité, que Dieu m'aide.
And invested with all powers, duties, and responsibilities of that office. I wish you a most successful tenure. Congratulations.
Voilà, félicitations. À Madame Lamia Ben Mahmoud, nouvelle présidente de l'OA.
No doubt, the 42nd African Insurance Organization Conference and General Assembly in Tunis, Tunisia, was a huge success as delegates gave kudos to the local organizing committee, FUTSA, and Madam Priska Suarez, the Secretary General of the organization, and her team for a job well done.
We are honoring some people who actually contributed, also positively contributed to the development and to enhancing the relationship between insurance and reinsurance companies in the various regions, in the various countries. And naturally, Mrs. Suarez is one of those who really did a good job in doing this. Therefore, I would like to announce that we at Trustee have named a star after Mrs. Suarez's name, and so she has now become a star, which can be found actually also on Google. You can Google it and find your star.
The stage is now set for the 43rd edition, which will be hosted in Marrakesh, Morocco. Since its inception in 1972, the agenda of the AIO remains the same. They are to increase business exchange among members, strengthen relationship, and also explore new areas that will improve the penetration of insurance products and services on the continent.
Such a great voice. I wish I can sing like that. Welcome back. That's the time on this edition of the program. I do hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I always say here, for comments, questions, observations, do feel free to get in touch with us on 017763981 or 08033357879. Or better still, send us an email, almond4xx@yahoo.com or almondproduction@gmail.com. You can also visit us on our website, almondreports.com. Like us on our Facebook page, Almond Finance and Wealth Reports, and view past episodes of this program on our YouTube channel, Almond Reports TV. Join us every Wednesday at 9:45 a.m. live on Niger FM 102.7 for our Pidgin English program called Waiting Insurance, They Do Safe. Don't forget, you can also connect with us via WhatsApp on our number 08033357879. If you miss any part of this episode, catch the repeat broadcast on Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. right here on the station. My name is Faith Uwade. Until same time, same station next week, and we shall come your way with our report on insurance companies shaping the landscape of Ikorodu Road. From all of us here, do have yourselves a wonderful time. Bye-bye.